What's going on, you guys? Peplotipus here, and it's time to talk about Dragon Ball Super Episode 93. I'm going to be getting My Hero Academia out to you guys tomorrow. Sorry for delaying that a couple of weeks. As far as Attack on Titan goes, I'm so far behind on Attack on Titan Season 2 that I'm just going to wait for it to wrap up, and then I'm going to do just like a Season 2 review. I'll go a little bit into the couple of episodes that I already did, and then I'll mostly talk about the ones that I haven't reviewed yet. But yeah, I'll just wait for it to finish. It's only going to be 12 episodes, right? So it can't be much longer now. I think it's only got like a couple more weeks. And as far as My Hero Academia goes, that I believe is actually going to be a 24 episode or 26 episode season. So that I'll definitely keep reviewing, and I'll get a double review out to you guys tomorrow. But today is Dragon Ball Super. Today is the day. The spoilers that were leaked like 3 weeks ago, not really leaked, they were in like a Japanese TV guide, but still, Frieza joining the squad, Goku goes to see him, and that is the highlight of the episode, for sure. And I'll get into that, and I'll fanboy about that. But I want to talk about the Universe 6 Saiyans real quick. Actually, no, let's talk about Universe 4, because Universe 4, that's a really small part of the episode. They send a spy. He actually looks like he's going to be one of the fighters. If you look at the silhouettes in the beginning, or not really silhouettes, but like the characters in the opening, you see a guy who kind of looks like this green dude. He goes there, he spies, he's like, yeah, they're going to bring back this dude named Frieza. They're considering Universe 7 a threat, and Little Mouse Dude has a plan to take out Beerus, apparently. That's pretty much all we get. It's interesting, it's story progression. It seems like it's going to drag out starting the tournament again, and I feel like this recruiting process has taken too long, but at least this is universe versus universe conflict. That is way more plot-oriented and fits way more in this arc than space poachers or fucking zombie monks, you know what I mean? So I'm fine with it. I wish those other things didn't happen to stretch it out even more, but this is fine. Okay, so with that out of the way, and if I sound like I'm rushing things, I'm sorry. It's just I want to get to the Caulifla Kale thing because I got a lot to say about that, and I still want to get to Frieza because that was the highlight of the episode. As far as Kale and Caulifla go, they're trying to get Kale to transform. They try to just do the tingling back thing, which everybody in the Dragon Ball fan base is bitching about, which I'm just going to say right now, I can't say with absolute confidence because I'm not like a martial arts expert, but I'm pretty sure the gathering of your chi or the gathering of your ki in a specific area of the body is a martial arts practice in some martial arts. It's like a mental strength thing, it's like a symbolic thing. They're channeling their ki into their back, like into the spine, and I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. It's not just create a tingly feeling, but obviously Dragon Ball fans would know about the martial arts and all that, even though it's a fucking martial arts action series, but whatever. Regardless, go to like Ken Damu's channel. He has a video about it that was pretty interesting. But anyways, with that out of the way, we finally get the female Broly. We get Kale going legendary Super Saiyan. And it's already a million times better than Broly. Now, I'm not going to act like her motivation is the greatest thing in the world, but it is better than Broly's, slightly. And I also feel like the fact that this is a female Broly, and the fact that the motivation, at least part of the motivation, is still something kind of petty. Like, with Broly, it was the crying that traumatized him. With this, there's a little bit of jealousy in there. I feel like it's kind of spoofing Broly, which I really do appreciate, which I think is really funny. But on top of that, she also felt frustrated that she couldn't transform. She wasn't living up to Caulifla's expectations. Kaba was insulting her, which she took those insults to heart. We hear her call herself a pathetic Saiyan and weak and worthless and all that shit right before she transforms. So she did take what he said to heart. She wasn't living up to Caulifla's expectations. They were arguing over her. She felt she was responsible for that argument, and she snapped. And boy, did she snap. She transforms, and she just starts literally trying to kill Kaba, which, personality changing, that's something that happens with Super Saiyans. I mean, Gohan turned into a sadistic little fuckwad when he turned into a Super Saiyan 2. Goku became way more aggressive and less childlike when he went Super Saiyan. And of course, this is the Broly transformation, so of course, she's going to become way more aggressive, way more simple-minded and one-track-minded. And yeah, she's a badass, though. She's literally, like, Kaba will punch her, and she will literally just bounce it off without even throwing a punch, which is really cool. And also Kaba actually trying to fight her hand-to-hand, like, that takes balls. Like, that was very ballsy of him. The animation's pretty solid here, too. It's animated by, I believe, one of the supervisors of the series. I don't know if he supervised on this episode, but Shinichiro Manabe. I'm not sure how to say his first name. I probably butchered it. Really good animator. There's a little bit of choppiness in the rapid punching section between Kale and Kaba, but I like the poses. I like the angles. It looks really cool. There's a couple of good moments in there, just a little choppy. But I like the gaping mouths, like the really long gaping mouths. When I first saw them, I was kind of put off by it, but I watched the fight again, and I really do like it. It reminds me of old school Dragon Ball when the faces were more malleable and like they could do more facial expressions. You know, Tadayoshi Yamamoto's character models are so stiff that the facial expressions don't have a ton of variety. They get them in there with people like Tate and Seizo Tomo when he did episode 4, but you know, it's Yamamura's designs are more stiff, the faces can't get as exaggerated, so I really liked seeing that here, and I hope that he continues to do that, because that looked really cool. I can understand if some people were thrown off by the gaping mouths. We haven't seen gaping mouths in Dragon Ball in a very long time, but if you go back in the series, they're there. They've always been there, so it's nothing new. And once they manage to calm her down, they realize that they found a really good team member without even realizing it, and also, Caulifla goes Super Saiyan 2, that happened in the blink of an eye. We saw her hair in the preview, and a lot of people were speculating whether or not she was going to get Super Saiyan 2, and some people were like, maybe it's just a different animator drawing the hair different. That would be pretty different compared to her regular hair, but Kitano was a supervisor on this episode, and he can fuck up pretty bad. I mean, he did bring us Scooby-Doo Beerus, so, you know, Kitano is an otherworldly level of bad. It's almost funny. I don't look forward to his episodes because of how bad his style can be at times, but it is almost worth it just because of how funny his designs can be sometimes. It's just how bad they can look. But joking aside, it was Super Saiyan 2. That's the point I'm getting at, is it was Super Saiyan 2. I actually found out about this beforehand. There was a couple of leaked images from the episode. It was her deflecting the blast. One of the things I noticed in that leaked image is that the mountains behind her looked horribly cropped. Like, they looked absolutely fucking just horrendous. And it's because it was like a layered thing. Like, they looked fine before the blast exploded. Once it exploded, though, they got rid of the back layers of the mountains. It was just that front layer, and the front layer was poorly cropped. When you see the whole mountainscape, it looks fine. But when you just take that one piece of it, it was really badly cropped. But it's only there for like a couple seconds. It's not that big of a deal. Some people thought the picture was fake because of how badly cropped those mountains were. So, very unprofessional, but that's only because they had to separate the layers and everything. That doesn't excuse some of the other bad artwork in the episode. I mean, it is a Kitano episode. It's not 100% him, and the Goku vs. Frieza scene is mostly really good. I'm not even sure what Kitano supervised. I'm guessing it's the awkward-looking moments in the episode, but they don't quite look like his style, you know what I mean? It was just an episode that kind of was all over the place with art. Some of it was really, really good, some of it was okay, some of it was like, we're gonna do gaping mouths all of a sudden because why not? And then other times it looked iffy. It was all over the map in terms of art. But thankfully the animation was pretty damn consistent. Again, it was a little choppy during the Kale Kaba fight scene, but not too bad. And the rest of the episode was really animated. There's a lot of good animation with the characters, like Krillin freaking out over Frieza, and he like spits on the camera. Like, that was a nice little detail that they did not have to put in there. So it's a good looking episode from an animation standpoint. Art's a little all over the place. Pacing is solid. So yeah, that was kind of an awkward place to fit the technical aspects of the episode into, but fuck it, I got them out of the way. Let's go back to Caulifla going Super Saiyan 2, because that is something that's pissing off a lot of the fan base right now, because Super Saiyan 2 is so coveted, and this makes Gohan's transformation worthless, which it doesn't. He's still the creator of Super Saiyan 2. He's still the first one to achieve that breakthrough. So no, it does not fucking undermine him at all, but we just saw a fucking chick go Legendary Super Saiyan. Clearly an abnormal Saiyan that had an insane reserve of energy that's completely different from other Saiyans, where most Super Saiyans, when they transform, they go into like, what is it, a 50 times multiplier when you go Super Saiyan normally? Kale was obviously way beyond that, and her power was still increasing. She even had the little Broly fucking power still rising, it's overflowing thing. She's very Broly. That's very clear based on this episode, but I already talked about that. So I guess the question I'm asking is, why can't Caulifla also be an abnormal Saiyan who is extremely talented at transforming? It doesn't take much effort for her to break through Super Saiyan barriers. You could say that's lazy, or that that's not forced per se, but just kind of convenient. And yeah, you could say it's convenient, but you can't really say it's bad writing that she's fucking just naturally good at breaking through the Super Saiyan barriers. It didn't take Gotenks very long to unlock Super Saiyan 3. I think that's the big kicker. I think if she was to go Super Saiyan 3 and like have total control over it and no stamina drain, that would probably be too much. That would be like Mary Sue-ish territory, which I guess you could kind of say she's in Mary Sue-ish territory, but I don't know, I feel like you should probably be more of a main character to be a Mary Sue. I don't know, I feel like a side character doing it isn't as bad. But I don't think she's as strong as like Super Saiyan Blue. I don't think she's going to be going toe-to-toe with any of the Saiyans from Universe 7 and taking them out all by herself or anything like that. So I don't think she's that OP or anything like that. Maybe not quite Mary Sue territory, but the fact that she can transform, I can definitely see why it rubs people the wrong way. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. It's a stretch. I would have preferred if they had like a week to prepare for this tournament than 40 hours. But the 40 hours makes sense because it's like Boo is asleep, can't wake him up, can't put him in the time chamber, Vegeta blew it up, gotta gather the team really quickly. The 40 hours, it served the story, but it also detracted from the story. But I guess my point is, I'm fine with her going Super Saiyan 2. I don't love it. I don't love how it was handled. But it's okay enough. You know, it's not the worst thing ever. We've had transformations that have been very easy for certain characters before. We just had a crazy abnormal chick go berserk mode, so I don't think it's that much of a stretch that another Saiyan from Universe 6 can be abnormal. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Goku and Frieza. Okay, every second that these two are talking to each other in Frieza's hell is an 11 out of 10. Okay, this shit was the highlight of the episode without a doubt. Goku goes in there. He's like, oh, this place looks nice. He walks up to Frieza. Frieza turns around. You have this really cool, I can't even call it music. They have like this ambient, like kind of screeching noise in the background, this really faint, almost horror movie-esque music playing. Frieza just turns around. He's surprised to see Goku, but he's not like, oh my, what the fuck are you doing here, monkey? He's like, oh, what's up? And Goku's like, yeah, you want to come back for 24 hours? He's like, you're plotting something, aren't you? Goku's like, yeah, pretty much. And it's a great conversation with great dialogue. I love that Frieza, they got his cruelty in there with him asking if he can kill people. They got his intelligence in there when Goku's like, if you want to get resurrected again, use the Super Dragon Balls. They're the prize for the best fighter. And Frieza's like, nah, because even if we win, that doesn't mean I'll get a wish. You said it goes to the best fighter, so I'll use the Earth Dragon Balls. Goku tries to trick him there, doesn't quite work. We also have Frieza transform into his golden form and tell Goku, yeah, you know you want to fight me again. You know you want to see how far I can go. And Goku's like, damn. He fell for the same shit that Vegeta fell for in the Cell Saga, except Frieza's probably not aware of how much stronger Goku is than he was when they first fought each other. He can definitely beat Frieza in a fight, so they're not worried about that. He even told all the other people, he's like, if Frieza gets stupid, me and Vegeta will fucking beat him and send him back to hell. So they all come into an agreement. It's not like Goku just selfishly is like, well, I'm bringing back Frieza, and they're like, no, and he's like, yes, and they're like, no, and he's like, yes, bye, teleport. He does get them on his side when it comes to bringing back Frieza. Even Krillin was like, okay, maybe we need his help, which is a really good step for Krillin's character, because Frieza used to just scare the shit out of him in the Resurrection F arc. He couldn't even move, he couldn't even fight Frieza soldiers with Frieza just in the area around him. So to be willing to actually be on the same team with him, that shows a lot for Krillin, which I really like. Yeah, going back to their conversation, it's great. He does get Goku with the same thing that Vegeta with Cell, you know, you want to see my limits, you want to see how far I can go. But it is different. It's not quite as dumb as when Vegeta did it. It's a lot better here, but still. He played to Goku's love of fighting. He played to that Saiyan instinct, and I just love Frieza, dude. Like, I haven't been completely won over to the idea of him replacing Boo due to the fact that Boo is fucking sleeping again. Even though apparently the long sleeps are actually, I forget if I read that or if I saw it in Masako X's video. He's the voice actor for Goku Abridged, for those you don't know, and he makes Dragon Ball Super videos. And he did mention that there is a piece of lore that Boo does fall asleep for long periods of time. That is something I did not know, so maybe that's just what it is, and Mr. Satan has experienced this before, so that's why he knows it's going to be about 2 months. And I mean, even if it's based on lore, I still feel like it is, even if it makes sense, objectively speaking, in my opinion, it's a waste of Boo. And Frieza replacing him, I'm still not 100% on board with why Boo is being replaced, but seeing Frieza here, seeing his interactions with Goku, it's everything I wanted it to be and more. We're getting a little bit from Krillin. We're getting great dialogue between Goku and Frieza. Next week it looks like we're going to get more interactions between them, and it looks like they're going to have to fight people from like another universe or something. We'll have to see. It was a pretty vague preview, so yeah. Can't wait for next week. Really, really loved this episode. Can't say it was perfect. Had some inconsistent art. Caulifla's Super Saiyan 2 transformation is questionable to say the least. And yeah, it was still a really good episode in my opinion. I'd probably give it a solid 8, 8.5 out of 10. Probably a very biased review, but I try to be biased and objective. But go ahead and tell me what you guys think of the episode, and whatever your opinion is, just opinions at the end of the day. But go ahead and tell me. Give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here, click that little bell to get notifications of when my videos go up. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.